He hit me with the crying questions.
Crying questions.
You trying to Oprah me? You gonna Oprah me? What's really interesting, so You Can Make It. So that was like the first new song I released in a long time. And it was just the most natural thing that came out of me. I've been, these last couple of years, I've gone really interior. So I've been looking around inside of there in a way that I never have before. And, I found a new creative well, a really deep, authentic, sometimes scary place inside of me of like the most full me, and it's brand new. And, this is about to be the greatest creative run of my entire career. The things that I'm about to do in music and cinema, and just artistic expression and exploration. It's like I can't sleep at night. I'm so ready to go. Nah, brothers and sisters. No, that's a character that I created probably 20 years ago. So my friends, something would happen, and like, let's say that, one of your friends was messing with your old girl. And you like, that's like a little, it's your ex, but that's a little bit off limits. So somebody would come to the Reverend and say, hey, tell the Reverend what happened. And the Reverend would call a meeting. So I would be the Reverend and say, nah, brothers and sisters, there's a vile man in our midst. So it would like bring comedy and fun, but it was a way for us to be able to talk about hard subjects. So the Reverend would oversee, so I brought that character back on the album. So I've always had that relationship. I grew up in the church. So I've always reached for the mysteries, I've always been with my doubt and confusion in terms of that broad realm of God and spirituality. But my grandmother was like the foundation of what it meant when somebody had a relationship with God. I didn't in that way, but when I looked at my grandmother, she was at the church on Wednesday, She was that grandmother in the church on Wednesday. But her heart was so soft, and she was so calm and totally patient. Everything was always okay because she had a trust. And even on her deathbed, she was excited. And it just made it easier for everybody because she believed. And that kind of faith is just, it's just sweet medicine for this world, So I always wanted to be able to hold that kind of spiritual confidence that my grandmother had. Nelson Mandela was another person I was around that had that kind of spiritual confidence. So I've taken the last couple of years to really do a deep dive on the parts of me that may or may not been in that level of certainty, and asking those deep, scary internal questions. And I've come to really beautiful answers for myself, that the 10 toes down in my perception of God and reality, and it's experiential, and it's not really something that you can teach, and it's not something that words really do well with. It's just something that people feel when they're in your presence. For me, working with Sunday service, which is so interesting because I wasn't trying to make a gospel record. I was trying to find the sounds that had the corresponding vibration with what my heart wanted to say. And like gospel choir and Sunday service was all the way in that lane. And even in the recording session, you know, I'm tearing up with the way those voices are uniting and coming together. So it's you know, this is an exciting and interesting, creative period of my life, and I'm more open to exploration than I've ever been. The album, I'm designing it just called Based on a True Story, and this body is called Season 1, and Season 1 is called Rave in the Wasteland. And I'm doing it like in seasons because I have three. I'm going to release 3 projects this year. So Season 1, Season 2, and Season 3. And Season 1, the concept is Rave in the Wasteland. And Rave in the Wasteland is essentially learning how to accept and celebrate my challenges. Recognizing that my challenges and my obstacles and my difficulties are actually divine curriculum. It's what I've been given to learn the truth. And there's a way that I'm learning to be with hard times. Like when things arise, it's like, good, yes, thank you. I am willing to learn these lessons. And you know, there's a certain psychological and emotional fortitude that you cultivate from leaning into the difficulty, not trying to run away. And the idea of Rave in the Wasteland and this body of work was from my practice of trying to lean in when it's hard, leaning in when it hurts. There's a cool quote, Pema Chadron talks about leaning into the sharp points, like going into the difficulty, you know, and just the discovery that inside of every torment, inside of every sadness, right in the center of the place that we least want to go is the magic key. It's right in the middle of the storm. It's not around it. It's not drinking it away. It's not scrolling it away. It's the heroic mustering of the power to look right into the face of the tragic heartbreak, whatever the difficulty is, the answer, the key is right in the middle of the cell. For me, that's what this album is. It really is the result of my initial self-examination. You know, it is, you know, every song is about some part of myself that I discovered or wanted to explore, something I wanted to share. You know, it is the most full musical offering that I've ever created. One of my favorite hooks on the album is Jay Cross is singing I got the keys to heaven, but I earned them things in hell. I'll give my life for something, but my soul just ain't for sale, right? And I just love that concept that the keys to heaven are earned in hell. And it's like when you're going through something hard, it's not because you're bad. It's not because you're not smart. It's not because, you know, you did something wrong. It's because that's how it is. That's how it is. You learn how to be happy in the teeth of your sadness. You know, you learn how to be strong in the grips of your greatest weakness, right? That's where you earn the keys to heaven. It's like right in the pit of hell. So I love that concept. early in my 40s, I went to Denzel. I was like, D, because I'm having a hard time over here, brother. He said, man, listen, it's called the funky 40s. Everybody has a hard time in their 40s. Don't worry about it. It's like, it's the funky 40s. He's like, but then you'll get to the 50s. And I was like, but I'm 42. You'll be all right, brother. You got it. It's like, it's hard. 40s are hard. You're just gonna suffer it out. But then you'll trust that you're good. And as soon as you trust that you're good, you'll have a whole lot more freedom. I just really found out that what I thought was myself wasn't myself. The constellation of ideas that was Will Smith, and the image of Will Smith is like 60% of me. Like there's a whole other well of ideas and depth and thoughts and feelings, even things that I had banished, the parts of me that I had imprisoned that, started making their way to rehabilitation, So I just put them on parole. They in a halfway house. They in my psychological halfway house now. No, but I just found out that what I was thinking of as me was only really a fraction of who and what I actually am, So it's trying to find my way into that just really joyful expansiveness. Once I discovered that it's not something you can have, you can't have life, right? That life is like a wild ocean and you just gotta learn how to surf, and even great surfers will fall off a wave every once in a while and break their femur. And you get to the beach, heal that thing up and get back, but it's like, it's not something you can have, right? It's like, I've learned that there's a posture that you have to hold in life to just continually take the rise and fall and be in the cycle of life. Everything you build is going to fall, and then you create another one. And it's like, you got to be in the cycle more than something you can have. You can't have life. You can have a mindset that is willing to take whatever you get, and you'll make lemonade out of whatever lemons you get. Jeff is on the first song. He's on the first song with me, and he'll be with me on tour. So to me, it's like phases, and the way I'm designing the show is phases of my life and career. So there's the me and Jeff section that I'm building out pieces for tour. There's the movie and television section. And then I guess in the structure of the show, what the third act will be is the new phase, the new energy, and then Jeff and everybody comes back in that third phase. I was just trying to find the sound and the artistic collaboration that went with what I was trying to say. Like there's a song called, the second on the album is called You Looking For Me? And it is old school drums for half and then new school drums in the hook. So I was trying to blend that, old school Marley Marl, sound and drums with, new school trap, vibe. So just trying to blend those timelines. I think that's a big part of what I'm trying to accomplish with this. It's like I feel like if I had to form it into a mission statement for this next phase of my life. I'm trying to cultivate understanding and compassion between people through artistic exchange and collaboration, right? Like I'm trying to use art to have people connect, and styles of music. I did the record with India Martinez and flamenco, just trying, different things. And I feel a lot of division and divisiveness in the world today. And I want to open in global collaboration. Part of my discovery is that there are only blessings, right? That part of being human is the power of psychological, emotional, and spiritual alchemy. That whatever you get, if you're still alive, if you woke up today, you have an opportunity, right? So part of my experience has been through, looking at difficult circumstances and through having to face things that I've never had to face before, I discovered new parts of myself. And there's a word I was using, is brute-iful, where things was brute-iful. It's brutal and beautiful, but I think that's a part of the paradoxical nature of experience, right? It's like mindset is everything. Like circumstances are going to be circumstances. There are certain circumstances that everybody has to deal with. Everybody's going to lose a loved one, right? Everybody's going to lose a job. Everybody's going to have a breakup in a relationship. Everybody's going, weight's going to fluctuate. There's a series of human problems that to different degrees everybody's going to have. And the superpower is your mindset. It's like, how do you talk in your mind about life? How do you talk in your mind about circumstances is a part of the discovery that I've made with this body of work, and it's what I'm trying to explore. That my interior landscape makes my life, not my circumstances. So I don't know if that answered the question, but that's all I'm going to say about that. I get that. How do I decide who's going to talk? No, I think that's part of the fun of consciousness. It's like looking in there and seeing all the stuff that's going on, right? And there's I don't know, I can't assume to speak what's going on in your mind, but what's going on in my mind is, there's at least 10 of us in here. And that's just current count as of 2025. There's at least 10 of us in here. And I just got to make sure the smart one keeps his hands on the wheel. But being an actor, cultivating inner energies is a part of what I do. Like I go to places inside and find things and then try to give them life on camera. So you look at my eyes and like, whoa, what was that? So that, exploration of consciousness is as exciting as anything in the material world could be. When I get to spend time in there and kind of get a sense of what's going on, building a character, trying to make a record, trying to figure out who's going to talk today, it's it's like, that self-exploration through art is ecstasy for me. Doechii just changed my life. She gave me such a clear reminder of the absolute essence of who I am, you know, and we go on journeys in life, and you know, you look at heroes' journeys, and they always end back at the beginning. There's a cyclical nature to the development of a human being. And I just got to spend a little bit of time with Doechii, and she got me so aligned, like just with the simplicity and purity of joy, like the magical power of just joy, you know? And sometimes I can get lost thinking, and, you know, my mind's really mathematical, and I can get really lost in the strategy and planning. And I was just watching Doechii. I was like, wow. Like, yes, that's the freedom that made the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. That's the freedom that made Men in Black. You know, that's the freedom that made Summertime, you know? And it's like, she just got me so aligned. We were together for a couple hours, and I was like, got it. Part of what's happened for me, and in all of my closest relationships in the past couple of years, my family is super aligned on building the most powerful and loving and expansive connections that we can create. And there's been a dissolve of the specificity of roles, right? So me and my kids don't look at each other as I'm the father, I'm an authority, and they're the kids. Like there's a oneness in the relationship that we are all beings dropped into this existential, terrifying mystery. And I started just being honest. I don't know, y'all. I know I want to be your father, but I don't know. I'm scared like y'all are scared. And opening up that space of recognizing that we're both, you know, spirits, and we're all scared kids dropped into this thing. And I'm a little bit older and I've pushed a little farther, but we're in this together. And the humility to not try to hold on to father authority and be able to look eye to eye and say, I'm scared too, and I'm not going anywhere, and we'll figure it out together. Each soul is responsible for its own salvation, right? So my greatest hope for my children, anybody I love, and anybody in the world really, is the recognition that everything you're looking for is inside, it's not outside. And as long as you're looking outside, you're gonna be miserable. It's like the thing that I hope for my kids and people I love is to realize, look inside. Go inside and take responsibility for the whole of your life and make interior changes. If you want a better relationship with somebody, it is futile to spend your time trying to change them. Change you and you'll change the relationship. I have really interesting projects coming up. Emancipation changed me as an actor. I am a better actor than I have ever been, and this next series of roles it's going to be the greatest work I've ever done. So I'm really excited to see how it unfolds.
It's an Oscar question, but totally, it's not. Just have to. I'm only asked because
I'll listen to it.
I was asked to ask this, so respectfully, I could tell. Hey, see this by one of the greatest actors of all time.
You ain't been starting the whole interview. Now,
hey,
now all of a sudden you can't
because you give me that look, man. You give me the look that you were telling me about. But I have to ask, I know with the band and everything, are you looking to appeal, or are you just looking just to write everything out and just continue to do you?
I am looking to be the best human I can possibly be, and I'm gonna take what I get with that.